Hey friends, are you thinking about buying or selling a home in the Tampa Bay market right now? The market looks very different depending on the type of property you're looking at. Single family homes are moving fast, condos and townhomes are a different story. I'm going to break down exactly what's happening in March of 2026 with real numbers so you can make a smart decision. So let's get into it. Every month we pull the latest market data for the Tampa Bay area and break it down so you actually understand what it means, whether you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the market. Today we're covering two segments: detached single family homes and the condo, townhome, villa market. The numbers tell two different stories, and knowing which one applies to you is the whole game. So let's start with single family because this is where the market is heating up. Closed sales jumped from 35.4% from February to March. That's not a typo. Spring is actually here and buyers are making moves. Now inventory, the number of homes available to buy actually ticked down 1.5% from last month. And it's down more than 5% from this time last year. So more buyers showed up in March, but there's fewer homes available for them to choose from. So what does that do to the market? Right now we have a 3.1 month supply of inventory. Anything under 6 months is considered a seller's market, and 3.1 is firmly in seller territory. So if you're a seller, that's good news. The median home price is holding steady at $415,000, up 1.2% from a year ago. Prices aren't skyrocketing, but they're not falling either. They're stable. That's a sign of a healthy, balanced appreciation. Here's something that tells you a lot about buyer behavior right now. Sellers are getting 95.2 cents for every dollar of their original asking price. That's up from 94.2 in February and 93.7 in January. The trend is clear. Buyers have less negotiating room each month. Homes are sitting on the market about 63 days on average, which is 11 days longer than this time last year. So while it's a seller's market, you still need to price it right. And speaking of pricing, 96.4% of all the homes that closed in March had a price reduction at some point, more than half. That tells sellers something important. Overpricing doesn't work. Buyers are paying attention. And the homes that are selling are the ones that are priced correctly from day one. Now, pending sales, meaning homes that went under contract, are up 2.9% from last month. The pipeline is full, more closings are coming. Bottom line for single family homes, if you're a seller, you're in a good position. But you have to list it at the right price and make sure that the home sells well. If you're a buyer, your window for negotiating is starting to shrink. The gap between what sellers want and what a buyer's willing to pay is getting smaller each month. Now, let's talk about the condo, townhomes, and villas, because this market tells a very different story. Closed sales were up 25.8% from February to March. That's a pretty healthy jump. Year over year, they closed actually up 16.1%. More condos are selling compared to this time last year, but the inventory picture is almost flat. Available supply has barely moved, just a 0.1% increase month over month, and it's down slightly from a year ago. You'd think that would push this market into a strong seller territory, but it hasn't, not fully yet. And here's why. Month supply of inventory is sitting at 5.1, which is just barely inching into seller market territory. For comparison, the single family home market is at 3.1. Condos townhome market has more inventory relative to demand. The median home price in the condo townhome villa market is $280,000. That's up 0.9% from a year ago. Solid, but the appreciation is modest. And buyers in this segment are negotiating. Sellers are getting 91.9 cents to the dollar from their original list price. This is meaningful. Buyers are getting concessions. Homes are taking about 78 days on average in this sector to sell, which is 8 days longer than last year. and 59.6% of the closings included a price reduction, the highest of any segment we're tracking. So what does this mean? Condos, townhome sellers are facing more competition. Buyers in this sector have options and they're using them. If you're selling a condo, townhome, or villa right now, your price and your condition have to be dialed in. Anything that makes a buyer hesitate, deferred maintenance, pricing it too high, HOA issues, it'll cost you. If you're a buyer looking at the condo or townhome market, you actually have some leverage. You can negotiate. You have time to be thoughtful. And the prices are up modestly year over year. You're not buying into a falling market, you're buying into one that's stabilizing. Bottom line for condos and townhomes, sellers need to be disciplined about their pricing. Buyers are in a better position here than in single family homes, and that opportunity may not last. Month supply has dropped from 8 in January to 5.1 in March. The market is moving in the right direction. So here's the big picture takeaway for March. Tampa Bay single family home market is tightening fast. Less inventory, rising buyer activity, and sellers are getting closer to full price. The condo and townhome market is improving too, but buyers still have more room to work with. Whether you're buying or selling, the data matters. And knowing which market you're operating in changes the entire strategy. If you want to talk about what this means for your specific situation, your neighborhood, your price range, your timeline, we'd love to connect. Hit the link in the description to reach out to us directly at Basecamp Tampa Bay. We're here to help you make a confident move. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. We do this every single month, and you'll always know what the market is doing. Drop a comment below. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you just watching? I'd love to know. We'll see you next month.